Well, thanks so much for the introduction, Tammy. I am also delighted to be here today, and I'm actually super excited about what I'm going to present to you today because it's something I'm really passionate about, sort of process and trying to find ways to improve marketing, trying to sort of bring tangible improvements to the discipline. And also, it is part of a bigger initiative here at Mapp that we're really focusing on. And this initiative was really born out of two desires that we had. The first is to make digital marketing a bit more tangible and more process driven, and ultimately more successful. And I think oftentimes there's sort of this gap. We, especially here on the vendor side, often talk in very vague generalities of optimizing conversion rates and reducing bounce rates and nurturing our customers towards the bottom of the funnel, or other buzzwords like that. But I really feel that oftentimes that's lacking the detail and doesn't really help our clients and partners develop strategies to achieve actual goals because there's no specific steps or tactics in there. There's always sort of um, that missing piece from the general to the specific. And the second thought behind it was that we really wanted to facilitate an exchange of ideas and build sort of a marketing community of practitioners and experts and consultants, whether you're on the client side, whether you work for an agency, whether you work for a vendor, really sort of get all these people together so that we can build this framework into almost a library of knowledge, tactics, and ideas that includes a framework that's sort of easy to action. So today I'm going to be presenting Improve Your Marketing, or Improveyour.marketing, our newest Mapp initiative. And what we're going to do is get an overview of our interactive digital marketing playbook, which has been designed to help our clients develop more agile and effective methods to actually improve their marketing with real projects. And maybe one more thing to note, as Tammy mentioned, this is part of a series of several webinars that we're going to focus on. And we're going to be presenting specific parts of the customer journey in the following ones, where we're actually going to talk about specific strategies that can be particularly effective to acquire, nurture, grow, and retain your customers. So please stay tuned for more. So what is Improve Your Marketing? I kind of tried to explain it in my little introduction, but I always feel that pictures are much better at explaining it. So this is Improve Your Marketing, and what you see right here. It is a web portal that allows you to determine your goals, pick specific strategies that you see, and then come up with a fully defined marketing plan to achieve those goals. So it all starts with these goals right here: acquire, nurture, grow, and retain. Pick the ones that are most important to you, and then you sort of have this pick list right here of strategies to choose from. It also allows you to rank your priorities and get an overall idea of effort and value. So we've got these little rankings here: effort, investment, value. They're supposed to help you essentially prioritize them and see sort of where you get the most effectiveness. And then ultimately, when you're done setting all of these things up, it puts together a strategy document for you to follow and implement those features. So after going through that introduction, hopefully no one here is thinking, wow, that sounds like a big waste of time. But just in case you are, we did want to give you a little bit more background into how this came about. As I mentioned in the beginning, we really felt like we needed a different approach to solving actual customer problems and challenges. And we wanted something that really focused on the underlying strategy behind it all. So one that really enabled P&L owners to maintain a focus on ROI and really understand the strategic direction behind it all. We also wanted something that enabled our project owners to understand exactly what was needed and what they needed to do in order to achieve their targets. So just very clear communication down the line. And then also something that enabled managers, analysts, and consultants on how to actually do it. So again, managing those expectations and giving very clear instructions as to what is expected. And of course, through all of this, we get to keep a focus on ROI and the underlying strategy behind it all. Now, I think especially in our space of digital marketing, it is a space that is really, really well documented. There's so much material out there, more than enough information, I think, to come up with ideas and strategies that could improve your marketing performance. But I really don't think it's this lack of information that prevents us from implementing these kind of projects. It's much more, I think, of a, like I said earlier, a disconnect between the general and the specific. So while we all know that there are certain things that we should be working towards, figuring out the individual steps that we need to take to get there is much more difficult. So I actually think it's more of a lack of focus and maybe even a little bit of a disconnect between those leading the charge and sort of having the strategic vision and those actually running day-to-day campaigns. So typically, how do we manage our digital marketing projects? This is something that I've definitely experienced a lot, not in every project that I've been a part of, but this is something that I think is all too common. Oftentimes, we're going to start with our marketing tool. So we have something that can execute campaigns, it can send out emails or do paid retargeting or a number of technical sort of features. We then figure out what our limitations are, and based on the features we have available, we implement some of them. We then start running some campaigns, and then once we're getting some feedback on those campaigns, we're going to start reporting stuff. And then after we report stuff, we're going to try to analyze the performance. And then usually around the back end of the project, that's where we try and report and find some sort of ROI. And I think that's really the way that it often works is sort of back to front. We get to the end of the project and then try to figure out which KPI is going to do the best job at justifying the effort that we've put in and how we can sort of prove the biggest ROI to the organization to get a big pat on the back. And I think part of that, just to be fair, is the iterative nature of marketing. We're always experimenting, trying new things. But being more strategy and ROI driven can bring huge benefits because now it's not just people trying things and seeing what brings uplift, um, but it actually has a strategic focus. Every company has its strengths and its weaknesses, and to have sort of a leadership team that directs the investment in a much more strategic manner is going to really align your company and team across common goals and have everybody pulling in the same direction.
Okay, so yeah, that's a great point. I want to take a second to actually launch this poll that I've got. I'm just curious to know because I'm in marketing and this is exactly how um, you know, when we're rushed, everything gets so crazy and so we kind of default to this. So I was just curious to take a poll of you guys in the audience based on your experience. Is this an accurate portrayal of how your digital marketing projects are planned or are executed rather? So if you wouldn't mind, I'll give it a couple more seconds and then, okay. Thanks everybody for your answers. Really appreciate it. Okay. Thanks,
All right.
Stephen.
Of course. Thank you, everyone. Okay, and so what we wanted to do here was really provide an alternative approach, and that is exactly what this project represents. So in your Improve Your Marketing project, we have given you a framework that allows ROI and company goals to essentially define the whole project. Um, we also want to ask ourselves the question, so not just start with ROI in general, but where is ROI needed most? What are the target KPIs that we're focused on? Which areas of my company do I need to improve most? And what is the strategic focus behind it? And from there, we then move towards strategy and tactics. So that means selecting the right tactics that line up with the goals and also the level of impact that we're trying to achieve. Depending on what your goals are and what your company's situation is, you might aim for sort of modest incremental changes, or you might actually need a big transformation of ROI. And so having that expectation also managed and communicated well, not just of where that investment is needed, but also what from a quantity perspective is sort of an acceptable uplift is also really, really important. And only then, after we have defined our goals, our strategy, and tactics, do we actually look at the tools and the features really more as a means to an end. How can we implement those tactics? Do we have everything at our disposal that we need? Does our tool set even include all of the needed features, or maybe we even need something that that expands our capabilities in these areas? And so I think that's just a much more sensible and and focused way of approaching a project. And that is what we've tried to create here with Improve Your Marketing. All right, so what I'm going to do next is actually dive into the Improve Your Marketing solution and give you a little tour. So the first thing that you're going to see when you visit Improve Your Marketing is this screen. If you don't have an account already, you're going to see a little sign up and login button here on the top right, where you can create an account. Like I said, it's a completely free account, so please go ahead and check it out. There's absolutely no harm to signing up and having a closer look and getting involved in this community. We then have a few explanations down here, and just in case you end up forgetting everything that I'm showing you today, we also have a handy little video here at the bottom. It's sort of just a how-to video that is about 1.5 minutes long. I don't even think it has any audio, but you can just hit play here, and it's basically just going to run you through a step-by-step process of what you need to do to take action here in this portal. But since I'm here and you are as well, let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a personal tour. Okay, so you've already gotten a little bit of a preview of this screen and the upcoming ones, but I wanted to dive into a little bit more detail just to show you exactly how it works. Um, so as mentioned, the first and most important thing that we need to ask ourselves here is what's our goal, or what are our goals? And we have given you 4 options to choose from. Do I want to acquire more new customers? Do I want to nurture my leads and prospects and try to get them to convert, actually become customers? Do I want to grow my existing customer base and get them to purchase more often or increase their average order or basket size? Or do I want to retain existing customers, keep them loyal, and prevent them from churning? Now, of course, any marketer is going to tell me that they want to do all of the above. And of course, these are all really, really important things to focus on. These are all things that you should be trying to do every day. And so I think, it's normal to want to do everything here. Uh, but I think, especially in an iterative discipline like marketing, you don't really want to change too many things at once. And as we spoke about earlier, it's also about prioritization. Um, so what you really want to do is focus on some very specific priorities and goals, then select the strategies behind it, because that's also going to make it easier for you to separate cause and effect. So what I would probably recommend is maybe focusing on 1 or 2 of these goals to start off with. I probably wouldn't try to do everything at once, but this is also something that you can do more and more of. So you start with one focus and then you do a separate project for another. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to run through this as if I have decided that I want to achieve 2 goals, and those are going to be to acquire new customers and then nurture them towards conversion. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick some here. Let's start with the data capture overlay. And once you click on that, that's going to open up another pop-up window that gives you a detailed explanation of what this data capture overlay is. So I can see, okay, what is it? Okay, sounds great. Increase your newsletter subscriber database, enrich customer profile data, optimize and save paid media retargeting budget. How do we do that? Because by getting people to sign up for emails, by showing them a pop-up if they're an anonymous visitor to our website, not only are we not annoying the people that have already signed up to the newsletter, but we're going to collect a lot of email addresses from people that are new to the site or people that we haven't been able to contact via email before. And that, of course, is going to allow us to retarget to them via email versus spending that budget on paid media retargeting. So I think this is a great tactic that people can use. Data capture overlay encompasses a lot of different options. Many of them can be used to acquire new customers. And so this, I think, is a very appropriate tactic. And I'm just going to mark this by clicking on the heart right here. Then you see over here 1 tactic selected. And so that's the first one that's sort of put into my basket of strategies that I want to take in order to put together my overall strategy. And then the other thing I want to point out here is that we have our expert tips. So you can just click on this and actually get more information. So here we have a tip that says ensure your marketing automation audiences are in sync with the website overlays. That way you're not interfering with the experience of existing high value customers. So that's sort of the example that I said. making sure that the pop-up is only shown to anonymous visitors and not your loyal customers that are already subscribed, because that's going to diminish their customer journey. So there's just great little tips and tricks sort of from practitioners, from people that run these kind of campaigns all the time, that are going to help you focus your attention on important things, and maybe even come up with an idea that you wouldn't otherwise have. And this really is the part of the platform that we want to make as interactive as we can. So this is where we want to get your feedback. Um, we would love to get our community to enter more of their tips in here so that we can all help make all of us smarter. So if you're a marketer and have any ideas or valuable thoughts you want to share on these specific strategies, please add them in here. You can just add a new tip and then go ahead and click add a tip, and that will then become available for others to see as well. It will be listed as a tip. You're going to get a little bit of recognition for your expertise, and overall we're just adding more information here to this platform and making it more valuable for everybody involved. So it really is a communal effort, and it's something that depends on everybody getting involved, and the more people get involved, the more valuable it's going to be. All right, so let's go ahead and complete this section and pick a few more tactics. Of course, a lot of this is going to be dependent on what you already do and what your capabilities are. If you don't have an SMS program or aren't planning to run one, then this is probably not going to be a great option. If you don't run TV advertising spots, then TV analytics is probably not appropriate. But let's say your company has been running a lot of TV ad spots, and you actually want to get a better appreciation for how these TV ad spots affect your web traffic, your purchasing numbers in the times immediately following your ad spot. And so I think TV analytics is another great solution, especially for retail customers that are advertising on TV, because then you can attribute that TV spot to some of the web traffic, and really understand more about what is the right timing, maybe even have some specific sales on your website following that TV spot that focus on the product that was highlighted in the advertising spot. So there's a lot of things that we can do with TV analytics to really understand how these things play together, and how they contribute to our overall marketing goals. So we're going to select TV analytics. I'm then going to go pick a couple more here. So we're also going to select lookalikes, because I think that's a great way to attract the right kind of new prospect to my website. Not just any kind of prospect, but essentially prospects that look like successful customers that I already have. People that share attributes with my loyal customer group, my frequent buyers, those kind of people are exactly who we want to target. So we're going to select lookalikes. And then I'm also going to select retargeting here, because I think there's a lot of options here. So selecting retargeting. So that gives us 4 strategies here under acquire. And now let's pick a couple under nurture as well. Abandoned basket, I think, is always a very popular one. So we want to take people who have gotten to a certain point, who have engaged with our page already, and actually try to convert them to get them over the line to turn them into existing customers. So abandoned basket campaigns are probably one of the most popular retargeting or reacquisition strategies out there. And yeah, let's see, what else should we take? Let's do conversion attribution, because again, that's something that you can really get a lot of insight on, some detail as to whether certain touch points are good at initiating interest in your product, or whether they're better at sort of pushing people over the line. And so this is the last one that we're going to pick. And so now we've got a total of 6 tactics selected. And then we can go ahead and move on to the second step. So we just click on prioritize tactics right here. And this page allows us to do a little bit more fine tuning of, excuse me, of prioritizing our tactics. So we've got a number of tactics here. We've got our data capture overlay. We've got our TV analytics, our lookalikes, retargeting, abandoned basket, and conversion attribution. And the way that I like using these, you see here the priorities on the right-hand side that we can select by clicking on them. But I like to let myself be guided by these little dots that we have for effort, investment, and value. Essentially, what these signify is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. So I'm just going to select the ones with the biggest circles as my high priorities. So we're going to select this one right here, TV analytics. We're also going to select abandoned basket as high. There are some slightly smaller circles here, so we're going to select those as medium priorities. And then you also need to look at the effort and investment circle size, because that's going to indicate how much effort you need to put into this. So maybe the ones where I've got a high effort, high investment are the ones that I want to put sort of as a lower value, or where the overall value isn't very high. So this is going to really allow me to fine tune and prioritize my tactics. And then when I'm done with that, I'm ready to move on to the final stage, and that is to view my strategy. And so here are our top priorities. We've got our abandoned basket campaign. That's the top one right there. We've got some medium priorities. And really, here is my strategy plan, which I can now use to start implementing all of my marketing tactics and really use it to improve my communication. The idea behind this project plan is more as a tool to help you communicate and share with your team, send it to your campaign managers, maybe other stakeholders like your CMO, to get buy-in on why you need to do these things. And that's why we've got this link right here that you can share with people easily. Just email it to somebody and they can then see this marketing strategy as it's displayed right here. And overall, like I said, I'm really excited about this project. This is just one iteration of it. We started with our digital marketing playbook. We've now made it a little bit more interactive. We have huge plans on adding more and more features to this as well. So making it more interactive, maybe even making it more detailed in terms of project plans and talking about actual streams and timelines and things like that. So this is a work in progress, but I really like it because we've kept it simple. We've focused on very strategic goals. And yeah, I just really like how easy it is to use and how it takes something that's usually a lot more complex and tries to make it simple. So now that you've seen it in action, hopefully it's all a little clearer, but just to quickly summarize, what is this about? It's about focusing on ROI and putting the strategic goals of your organization first. Um, Also, because it's very results driven, it leads to much more agile projects and helps you avoid overblown implementations. And it does this by always connecting individual marketing strategies to the underlying business goals and by measuring success accordingly. And then finally, the idea, as I've mentioned several times, is to also help with internal and external communication by creating a project document that can be followed and referred to throughout the course of the project. And so this is our call to action. I tried to drop it in there a little bit earlier, but I'll say it again. Please get involved. Go to our website. It's completely free, super easy to remember, Improveyour.marketing. Just go in there, sign up, get a free account, and become part of our community. And that's when you can add your own tips and tactics and really contribute to this project. We want others to benefit, but most importantly, we also value your feedback. So if you have any ideas on how to how to improve it, any ideas, suggestions on how to make it more efficient or effective, please let us know. You also have the opportunity to influence the next the
Sorry,
content.
sorry, Stephen. I
Sorry.
actually jumped the gun a little bit. My bad. Um, yeah, so speaking of which, he's gonna get for the next webinar, which is in 2 weeks. And again, like all the links to all of these things are in the handout. We want you to have a say in what we're presenting for the next webinar. So if you could just answer what tactics you would like to see next, or maybe check out the Improveyour.marketing and let us know after taking a look. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, so thanks for your answers, everyone. And sorry, Stephen, I'm going to close the poll and be quiet now.
No problem. So that's it. We've got our next webinar scheduled already. It's the Acquire New Customers webinar, where we're going to focus specifically on those tactics that you can use to acquire new customers. And so if you have any thoughts, if you have any favorite tactics that you'd like to delve into, that you'd like to really get a deep dive on, please go ahead and give us that feedback. And then we're going to select those top picks to make sure we focus on the ones that are most relevant to our community. All right, so that's September 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Please go ahead and sign up. The link is right there. You can also navigate to it at any time by going to our website, mapp.com, navigating to resources, and then navigating to webinars. Okay, and then last but not least, I'd also like to point out our most recent customer survey. As we've said, your opinions really matter to us, and we want to get your feedback. So we'd like to offer a $50 voucher for you to donate to a charity of your choice in return for your thoughts and insight. So if you'd like to give feedback, if you're just interested in the topic, or if you're feeling a bit philanthropic and you have a cause that you'd like to support, then just take a few minutes and let us know what you think. Let us know what are sort of the most important areas of improvement. What are the areas that are most relevant to you as a business? The link to the survey is in the handout deck, which is in your control panel. So please just go ahead and click on it and have your say in our product roadmap. And like I said, as a thank you for your cooperation, we're going to offer you that $50 donation to the charity of your choice. And yeah, that concludes my presentation for today. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed this, as I always do. Hopefully you did too. And yeah, we do definitely have a couple of minutes left over for questions. So if anybody has any, please feel free to share them now.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Yeah, really, really good presentation. Yeah, so again, like the format of this series of webinars is going to be brief. We're not going to do the full hour. We're just trying something new here, to make it a experience for the audience. So you can expect 30 minutes for the remainder of the series, unless we get a huge response and you guys want to see a ton of the tactics. So I don't see any questions coming through. I really would encourage you guys to download these handouts. Like the Digital Marketing Playbook is just actually a PDF version of the Improve Your Marketing tactics. So go ahead and grab that. Take the presentation today, so you have all the links to register for the upcoming webinar. And as usual, you'll get emails from me promoting it as well. So I'll give you guys a few more seconds to answer questions. Or ask questions rather, sorry. But I really do appreciate the feedback you gave in the polls, and thanks in advance if you fill out the survey. And that'll do it for us today. Thanks, Stephen. Bye, everybody. Talk to you next time.
Thanks very much, everyone. Bye-bye.